So we got the recording. We're going to get started here. I'm going to ask if I'm not going to be looking at comments. So if Lisa, you can monitor comments for me because it'll wipe out my whole screen when I share.
Sure.
If you were in earlier, you saw the countdown of the screen, and we have like 49 days. So it's kind of counting down there. Let's get started. Find where I'm at here. Hey, everyone can see that? Road to Casper?
Yep.
Okay. Well, if everybody can mute, if you have a question, just unmute and ask. So like I said, we have 49 days. It's coming up really fast. I wanted to go over the budget because most of you has never heard of our budget ever. So we went over this last night with the admin staff that were in the meeting. So this year for this project, our projected income is about $39,000. Our projected expenses is about 26. That can change. It can change. Just depends if we need to buy more things when we get to Casper that we need, that we don't have. But we've raised through mostly all donations and the Vertical Rise opt-out, and then the membership dues. So the membership dues was about 30% of our total income. We were fortunate that we were able to find some donations and sponsors and people willing to give us some sizable amount of donations. As you can see, our expenses are mostly buses and food right now. I mean, there's some little things that we had to purchase. We had to purchase some drum equipment for the front ensemble that we did this past week. But majority of it is either licensing fees or we pay the troopers a 10% fee for all their admin they give us. So that's out of our total income that we bring in. So basically $3,900 will go back to the troopers, to the A Corps for the admin help that they give us. We had sponsorships of companies that are doing the screen printing and donated the Zoom business and the Constant Contact and a whole bunch of other stuff of about $5,000. So we did pretty well in this short amount of time of trying to collect money. So any money, I mean, this was brought to my attention that I didn't mention it last night, that any money that's left over as of this meeting will go into next year's budget. There's no plans of taking that whole balance of whatever's left over and donating it back to the A Corps. We need to have a starting point better than zero going into the next year. It helps out everything. Okay, questions? I see two people in chat. No? No? Okay. The headquarters is the Holiday Inn at the medical center. Looks like a pretty nice facility. Everyone told me it's a pretty nice facility that I talked to. Again, free parking. Your breakfast, when you check in, you'll get vouchers for your breakfast. So your breakfasts are free each day. You have a pool, you have air conditioning. I don't know if they have a hot tub. I didn't look at hot tubs, but it seems like a really nice place. Located 5 miles from Kelly Walsh. So both hotels are about 5 miles away. I mean, it has a great area to socialize in the lobby. It does have a bar. And it does have, the restaurant inside, and the rooms look really nice for a hotel, for a Holiday Inn. The Come On In. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get pictures of the inside because you can see how blurry this is. Their files are really small, so they don't, but it's a beautiful inside. This is a big, big hotel. In both hotels, we have conference rooms, and the conference rooms are reserved for us for the entire week that we can use however we want to, so we don't have to go in there one day and be out of it and store it in somebody's room. Our check-in process will be the Holiday Inn. When you go in there, we'll require you to have the medical consent form turned in to us, signed. The consent for charity care, which is a new form this year for members. We have several under 18 members with their parents are going to be with us, so their parental forms have to be in by that day. We have at check-in, since most of you have uniforms, you will get your cross sabers, a patch, a window sticker, your scarf ring, membership cards, your section tees, your event tees will be all packaged in a bag. For all you have to do is go to your section that we have laid out and pick it up. For people, in addition to that, we'll have folders that'll have the schedule, a map of Castor, a map of event parking. So wherever we have an event, there'll be a designated area to park. Contact telephone numbers, hopefully the schedule of TruthCon. We don't know how that changes so rapidly. And then one of the other things we'll end up doing is we have a QR code that you're able to just use your phone to look at the daily schedule that's happening. And then people that are purchasing uniforms, your uniforms will be there with your name in a bag. And if you have any rental equipment, you'll just have to sign and check out the rental equipment there. What do you need to do? Fill out the shuttle bus. If you're taking the shuttle bus, we have 11 people. We reserved 2 vans and a bus for taking people from Denver, and we have 11 people. So that's a big expense for us. I mean, that's almost $2,500 to set that up in the time. So it's really important that as soon as you can, before June 10th, that we get all that taken care of. If you're driving up and you're going back past the airport and you can pick somebody up, let us know, because we have people coming in at 6:45 in the morning all the way up to 8:30 at night, so we can use as much help as we can, so we don't waste a bus to pick up 2 people. We'll be using a food survey, which is basically an order form for Jimmy John's. This will be a Wednesday lunch, and we'll talk more about that. That'll be being sent out to you later this week. We didn't want to send way too much stuff out to you, so we'll end up sending that out next week, or the end of this week. Also, in your check-in, this is how, when you're checking in, you'll have a packing slip for what you ordered. So if you went online with your redemption code and ordered t-shirts, your t-shirts will be sitting there waiting for you, already packaged, and all you have to do is take your bag and go. If you ordered uniforms, you'll get an order form with what your uniform is and what you ordered, so we know exactly what we're giving you, and that again will be in a separate bag. So people who bought uniforms will have actually 2 bags going out. Our schedule, and as you can see, it says tentative schedule. I think since talking, it didn't change today. That was a good thing. But since we put this together at the beginning of last week, it's changed 3 times, and I'm sure it's going to change more. I mean, in essence, what's going to happen is the blocks that we have are pretty much going to be the same. It's just that some of the times will change to reflect what the performance schedule is once all the firm information is gathered, and we have the bus routing schedules and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot going on that we have to track. It's just not a block of rehearsals going to the hotel to the field and back to the hotel. There's a lot of other things that we're trying to use our transportation to take you. All Our lunches, except for Wednesday, will be driven. And we'll talk a little bit that down the road. The Wednesday lunch, because we had a conflict with the bus with the A Corps, we chose to do that at the field with Jimmy John's. This is the field. So if anybody that doesn't know about Kelly Walsh, I think they house about 2,000 students. There's plenty of space for us and the A Corps to share. A lot of parking. I think if I'm correct, in the basement of the building is in another football field or a track that they use during the winter months. It's a very impressive area. So we'll obviously, for the color guard, we'll probably get into the use of the fields. The horn line and that will be somewhere around the school, the drum line and stuff like that. We'll have everything mapped out. That'll be part of your welcome packet, where we got to go, where we got to park, where practice areas are. We're going to set that all up on Saturday and Sunday with the A Corps when we get out there. Again, I can't stress the bus, signing up. If you know you're coming in, my recommendation is don't get an early morning flight that you're there at 7 o'clock in the morning, because you're going to wait till 11 o'clock. And that's when the first bus is scheduled to leave the airport, is 11 o'clock. We have one at 11, we have one at 4, then we have one at 8 to 8:30 at night. Because we do have people coming in at 8:30. So we'll be waiting around for them for the last bus. During the week, our transportation, Dale has secured us a use of a 24-foot trailer, so we won't have to be lifting stuff off a Ryder 26-footer. We can wheel it right off the back from a percussion standpoint, the front ensemble. We've rented a 12 to 15 passenger van to shuttle people around, for the volunteers to use to go pick up whatever supplies we need, to move people from events or to even downtown to the TroopCon events as needed. Buses, depending on the day, we have 1 to 2 buses. During the day, since we're so close, I think Wednesday we only scheduled 1 bus as an example, because we're only doing rehearsals, so the bus will shuttle back and forth from the hotels to the practice hall, and after we play Wednesday for the A Corps, we'll shuttle you back to the hotels. Some days, I think all the other days we have 2 buses. And I think there's like 25 people that have told me that they're driving, so there's some people that have cars, similar to what we did in Indy last year. Food. So as part of your membership dues, we had reserved $13 per member per day for lunch. So that part there is in addition to that money's going to be used for those lunches that we're going to speak about, snacks and drinks, and we hope to have some snacks available after rehearsal in the conference rooms of each hotels to keep some of the costs down for members. I think you'll find when you get the food survey, there's some of that information on there too. Wednesday is Jimmy John's. I can't even tell you how many different subs they have. It'll be an 8-inch sub and wraps. You can choose one of those. The drinks and chips and salads and all that we'll be bringing in as a separate component, but we'll be just ordering the sub. So when you get your form, if you can fill that out and tell us what you like to drink and what type of salad dressing you like and types of salad and stuff like that, that'll give us a clue of what we need to have for you for that day. Thursday, the Hibachi Supreme Buffet. You won't starve. You might want to go to sleep after you get done eating, but they have all kinds of things. They have every diet restrictions that you have at this place here: fresh fruit, fresh salads. I'm told it's really good. and they can accommodate us all at one time. The buses will take us over there, and we'll go eat, get an hour and a half to eat, time to get back to rehearsal. With maybe you get time to have a little nap after you get done eating all this food, but we'll have to see. Friday will be Pizza Ranch. At Pizza Ranch on Friday will also be our awards banquet. Friday we only have a rehearsal block in the morning because we have a short afternoon because we have to be up at Davis Street Station at 5 for a performance, so we made a little bit of a change there. It doesn't mean that you can't have a sectional. If you want to have a sectional, if you want to go outside and do that, that's all up to you. But as far as a formal rehearsal, it'll be the morning block. If we have any of the underage members that want to attend the ACORS, God, what was that called? They have a training or a session with their staff in the morning that's open to the public. If any of the members want to go, the younger members want to go to there, we'll excuse them from the rehearsal to go over there and get a little bit of taste of what the ACORS is about. I mean, the Pizza Inn, it has pizza, all kinds of pizza, salad. It has dessert pizza. It has macaroni and cheese. It has fried chicken, mashed potatoes, a whole bunch of stuff. So it isn't just pizza. Okay, now, any questions so far? I see 14 people in the chat.
I've been answering them as we go, but if
Okay.
anybody wants to come off mute and ask their question directly, feel free.
Our medical staff this year will be composed of 4 to 5 individuals. Sammy is a mellophone player who's also an EMT in the Philadelphia area. Most of you know Will. Will is certified in first aid and CPR and some other things. Andrea, who is the contra player, she's certified in CPR and some other areas. And then my wife, who is a CNA, will be there. She's a good record keeper. She'll keep everybody in line. We'll have some different forms this year. We'll make sure that we document all treatment, whether that's if you're given an aspirin or a Band-Aid or an ice pack or everything. Everything will be documented. Our medical staff are all volunteers, and because they all are all volunteers, we'll ask you to sign a special volunteer treatment consent form, knowing that they are acknowledged volunteers. They've got to do their best with what we have. We have limited use of the ACOR medical staff, but again, they're there for in case it's a bigger emergency that we can't handle. The safety team, which we're still working on who that's going to be, they're going to be the ones that'll be working with the ACOR. The ACOR subscribes to a service that monitors the weather in the area. They'll look at our rehearsal equipment, our rehearsal sites, and the conditions of that, so that to make sure that we're not in the sun all day long. If it's hot or if it's cold, or if it's raining, we find somewhere else. So they're the ones that'll be working with all those concerns. So it won't necessarily be the director or any of the admin staff. It'll be this committee of people that will be doing this. Kind of the forms, if you marched last year, it was the medical consent form, and the other form will be medical consent for charity care, that you understand that this is a volunteer, whether it's a nurse or EMT and physician, or just a volunteer helping, to give you ice or to give you Band-Aid or aspirins and stuff like that. We will utilize, in case of an extreme emergency, the 911 system in Casper, which they're not that far away from us, so that will help us out also a lot. Like I said, we'll document treatment. No one will give anything out without it being documented. We want to make sure that we're not only helping you, but we're covering our butt at the same time, making sure that nothing is out of the ordinary. I would suggest that when you pack your bag to come out, you put aspirin or you put whatever you need. If you have any special medication or stuff like that, that will help you. I don't know if we have aspirin or what we have in our medical supplies until we get out there, what we had from last year. The members will do a medical evaluation, which most likely would be Sammy in this case, because she is the EMT, just to note all the issues or circumstances about what your injury is about or your condition's about. Again, we'll be sending out an email probably in the next week of volunteers. Our bus attendant, that's a person that should be coming in on an earlier flight. That's what we're hoping for, that wants to gather the troops in the corner. So when we go down to the airport in Denver, the bus can't park out in front and wait for you all to come out. They have to park off site, and once that bus attendant gets everybody together based on the list of people that are supposed to be there that we're waiting for, they call over and the bus comes over and picks everybody up. We'll be looking for van drivers, because right now I'm the only van driver that was scheduled to go to Denver, and that's a long day. If we have to pick someone up at 11 o'clock, that's, we're leaving at 6 in the morning, 5:30, 6 in the morning, and our last pickup is around 8:30, which will land us about midnight into Casper. Food services, I know Teresa has someone else coming with her, but we can have one or two. It's mostly on a Wednesday, and the days that we have some snacks out there, we can get some help setting that up, so it's just not one person doing it all. Leslie's taking care of the uniform services. I think we have 5 people already into that will be helping set up the bags, sort out any last minute items that come in, but it's pretty much almost all packed now except for the uniforms. Or it will be by the end of the week. The printer will be finishing it up and we'll get it. Help with checkout at the end of the event. Our checkout shouldn't be that hard. Our checkup won't be that hard. We don't have as much percussion equipment as we did last year. We're not running out as many horns as we did last year. A lot of people are bringing that stuff, so it should be a fairly easy check-in. Uniform check-in, I think there's 7 pieces that have to be checked back in that people rented. Everything else was purchased by that individual. So again, it's not going to be a big checkout process. One of our new rules will be, which we haven't signed since we have more minors here, will be just an acknowledgement that you understand what our minor policy is. I don't know if Jeanette's in here. I don't know if she came in or not, but we also have created a new position, which is Member Experience Liaison, and Jeanette was appointed this week to that, and her main focus is, in addition to taking care of all the members that have maybe issues and complaints about their treatment, she's mainly focusing on the 18 years and under and working with the parents of those people. Okay. So we get to our venues. So our first venue is going to be Washington Park, where we'll be there for 7:45 performance in between the community band during their break. We'll set up parking areas, and again, like I said, when you check in, you'll have an area to say, hey, park if you can, park over on South Jefferson or park over here. We'll kind of give you a guide of where we want you to park and where we're going to meet, where we're going to warm up. So you don't have to keep on asking everybody where it is. These maps will be posted on the equipment trailer. So when you get there, you can see, where should I be? Where's the drum line got to be? Where's the horn line got to be? Where's the color guard going to be? And then where are we going to perform at? We've done that for almost every event. David Street Station, which is really good because this venue is in the center of where a lot of TroopCon events are going to happen that night. I do recommend to people, if they're going to do this, that you have an early morning wake-up call to go do a performance at Fort Caspar. So just be prepared to have some rest before you hang out all night at the after party. But this will be a quick thing. This is 5 o'clock. So, you know, we're doing our lunch between 12 and 1:30. And after this event is your time to go do your dinner. It's a little bit later than normal, but you know, you're going to be downtown. There's going to be restaurants. We'll have a bus there at least for people that want to stay in town, and a bus or the van to take people who want to go back to the hotel. Again, like I said, you're only about 5 to 10 minutes away from the hotel from any one venue. So it's not a long bus trip or van trip or car trip. Fort Caspar, the fun run, you can see we already have marked off where we think we're going to perform and where our buses are going to park. And you can see the parking lot there. And you know, so we are making it that it is I would say a 10:30 to 11 o'clock performance time frame. It started out to be 10:45, then we were told 10:30, shows up at 11, so anywhere in that time frame. So this is Saturday morning. We'll get there early. We'll do our warm up. We'll put everything will be, at this point in time, everything will be full uniform. So make sure that if you're packing your luggage, that you at least have a hanger so that you can hang your uniform up to air dry between events, because you're probably going to need it. Just depends what the weather is. So from here, the buses will go to the bingo hall. I don't know exactly what's happening at the bingo hall. They would like us to go to the bingo hall. And then from the bingo hall, the people that want to stay there, maybe one bus, we'll have 2 buses for this event. One bus will stay there. The other bus will go back to the hotels for people to rest up for the night's performance. And also the other note in here, if you have never been here, and I haven't, when I went to Casper last year or 2 years ago, I never went over here. But that whole morning, you'll be able to walk through all the exhibits. It's free in the morning. So there's no cost to a member to do anything here. And then the night performance is back to Kelly Walsh in the stadium. Again, we'll do the same thing as what we normally would do, is tell you where we want you to park, where the equipment truck is going to be, and all that will be mapped out prior to the event, where we're going to warm up and everything. In addition to performing here, that Saturday, instead of the Corps providing you lunch will be on your own, and dinner, which will be a barbecue dinner at the school that's being sponsored by the Saber Circle and the Legacy Corps for the members. We're to socialize and be back with parts of the A Corps. We're going to kind of do all this around 5:30 in the afternoon before we have to go warm up for our performance. And we have one more sponsor program going on. In the back of our event tee, we're trying to obtain sponsors. Dana is working on this. And if you know of anybody that might be interested, contact Dana with it. But it's basically going to kind of be laid out like that. We have different dollar amounts for different box size. In addition to the shirt, there'll be a banner that we'll be putting up, but we're trying to raise $6,400. Of that, $1,200 pays for the t-shirt blanks, and the balance goes back into the budget for the Corps. Dana has forms. If you need them, he can send them out. And this is a kind of a short deal right now because we only have up until about the 20th of May to secure this, and then we have to get the backs of the t-shirts printed so they can make it out to Casper in time. Our banner would look something like this. Each of these blocks would be a sponsor. Some of those sponsors are carried over from the shirt. Some of them can be added new sponsors because we have a little bit more space for it. We have some sponsors already committed of people who donated money. All the people who donated through Vertical Rise will be listed, and people who have contributed during the email campaign. In addition to the handler, the person who was sending out the emails will be also listed with we're not putting donations amount, but as a thank you, showing that you really cared about helping us out this year. Like I said, our deadline is May 20th to have the art in hand so we can get the shirts are already at the screen printer, so the fronts will be all printed this week, and we'll just wait for the backs, and then once it gets the back, it'll take them an hour to do that. We have our normal message center. We would ask everybody to turn on their Slack notifications for that week.
Order around those, with all kinds of.
We have a post in Camden County that got green t-shirts and they were not approved.
Can we?
And we've heard such shit about it because.
If we can turn on your notifications that week, if any bad weather, any emergencies, anything that we need to notify you, that is the best way to notify you right that minute, without you having to go on the Facebook or in the classrooms. We will have whiteboards at each hotel and one at the trailer all the time that will be updated during the day of what's next. You know, in addition to getting a print schedule. And then we'll post it in Facebook members page. We'll post something in a fan page. I don't know if it'll be the exact breakdown. Lisa and I have to talk about that yet. And then in classrooms, and again, if you use your phone, you can click on this QR code, and I'll take you to another screen altogether that will have messages. So we've done everything possible to notify you of a change in the schedule, an emergency, whether it's bad weather or whatever that is. We have all that there. So you should be able to keep up to date with us, hopefully. This will be something what our daily board would look like. Again, we'll have a list of emergency numbers on the bottom, so everywhere we are, we have our emergency numbers. We'll have the QR code, and then what the daily schedule is for that day. But Slack will be the most important one that we need to know, because that's the easiest one to get information quickly to everybody at the same time. Awards, this year we're going to have, the awards will be at our lunch at Pizza Ranch. I want to say Pizza Palace because that's what's around here. Pizza Ranch, and we'll have HLD award. We'll have Rising Star, which is basically a generic award that can go in for section leaders and for section rookies and section most valuable drummer, whatever the section person wants to do. And for people that have contributed to the Vertical Rise email campaign and some of the other donation things, there'll be an award for that. And then each of the directors will give out an award to one member. So if you want to nominate someone, if you think someone really went over the board, we probably have their name on the list, but go ahead and do it so we can confirm it. Just email it to the Legacy Core email address, and then we'll be working on all of that. And that's it. That didn't take that long now, did it? So I didn't want to keep everybody here for hours and hours at a time. It's just really quick. We'll have one more meeting sometime before we all leave, which will be the final. Did you pack this? Did you pack that? Did you do that? All the basic information for what you need. Besides that, it has been coming out for months now. You had today here on this. So, any questions? Lisa?
We'll also be putting together, in addition to a packing list, an FAQ. So if you've got questions, feel free to send them in and we'll make sure that they get captured there and shared with everyone. So.
Anybody else? Dale?
Just be prepared for any type of weather because we got snow on this past Friday. We're getting a foot of snow on the mountain today. It can snow in June. Be prepared.
So bring layers.
It's not going to snow that late in June. It could, but it won't. Anyway, Lisa put out the newsletter, which was great. So start memorizing the core song, because you don't want to be out there holding a piece of paper because you're having to hold hands with other people. But anyway, Tom, you are very organized. We appreciate it. You have a lot of things figured out and it should run smooth.
Well, there's a lot that has to go on. So it looks good on paper. We'll have to see how it works out when we get there. Anybody else? I don't want to hold you up. You got any questions at all?
I just saw that info that you shared with us tonight, Tom. Is there going to be someplace we can come back to it, or someplace where we can watch this video?
I'll turn the video over to Lisa, and Lisa can figure out where she wants to post it.
Okay.
I actually got it on record tonight, not like last night where I forgot to unpause it. So yeah, I'll have it. Lisa will have it in the morning, and we can come back. You can come back to it.
Okay. Or just a short something in an email out that can go to everybody with the papers that you put up there or something without the whole video.
Yeah, the papers will come out on a separate email. Probably all the medical. I'm still going over with the ACOR with Mike Goff if we need to have a performance contract, like we did when we did for Indy, almost like similar to the DCI that some requirements that maybe the ACOR might have, and he hasn't got it back on that to me, but just about all the other forms will be there. They'll go out in a pack in one thing, or in addition that we'll put them in a link that you can go on the classrooms and get it to download it too.
Back to your in the beginning there, when you talked about the Holiday Inn. According to their description, they have an indoor pool, a spa tub, and a weight room.
Yeah, I knew they had a pool. Both of them have pools. I didn't know if it had the spa. And I know people like the spa, and that was and the pool in Indy, and that was one of the things why we chose these two hotels, and probably the price. They were by far a very reasonable price for us. I mean, it's considering what Cheyenne was or what Indy was, and even what Plymouth would be. These are really good cost savings to the members. Okay. If nothing else, I'll let you all go. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye.